Hey everybody, this is Danny with Silva Designs, and I'm coming to you with another video. This is just a warm-up sketch video, nothing special. One of those days where I just didn't know what to draw. I was having a tough drawing day, and so I decided to mess around digitally and just try to loosen up, try to break out of it. So this is kind of a lot of times what I start with. Initially you saw that I did some really quick big sketches and those weren't looking right and I just wasn't feeling them. So a lot of times when that happens, I will just do a bunch of these little thumbnail sketches. I realize that I'm going too big. I don't really have an idea in mind. I just want to kind of break out of the drawing funk that I'm in, I guess. And sometimes I tend to start big. I try to go with a big idea initially, and when I don't really have any idea in mind, and things don't really go well. So doing these little creature sketches or position sketches, pose sketches, I don't have to think too much about it, and when I see something that I like, then I'll just go ahead and embellish on it. So what you're seeing here is just several little characters. Again, nothing special. Little fish dude up here in the corner. And then I'll look at all of them once I'm done, go, okay, well I like this one, which is what I'm doing here. And I'll just get rid of everything, copy that one onto a new layer, and kind of refine it. Usually ends up looking a lot different than what I started with, but that's just, it helps get your mind out of that funk where nothing's coming out right. So initially I started here. This is just going to be a pencil sketch. So I started with the face, and I realized that my brush was too big and everything was looking clunky. So that's kind of, I redid the face a couple times and realized, okay, the pencil's still too big. The brush tip, or the brush size, sorry. And then I went ahead and just thinned it out a lot more like a mechanical pencil, so it felt more like drawing with a pencil rather than digital. This program that I'm using, this is Manga Studio 5EX. I really like sketching in this program, especially with the pencil tool. I use pretty much the basic setup for the pencil tool. I'm using a cintiq companion, so it's got pressure sensitivity and stuff like that. The only thing I really mess with on the pencil, and I'll switch back and forth from time to time, is the brush size, brush density, and every once in a while I'll play with the texture setting on there, but not very often. So that's kind of, I will play with those, but they pretty much stay, as far as brush density, that'll stay usually in the middle range, and then I'll lighten it up if I feel like the lines are too heavy. And so that's pretty much it. If it seems like there's just too much texture, or if it's too smooth, you might need to add more texture to the paper, so that way it looks more like feels more like pencil. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here, just kind of fleshing out the design. You'll notice that her arm was really far out and exaggerated, so I kind of brought it in. I don't know if that was a good decision or not, but at the time it seemed like it was the right thing to do. I probably should have pushed it a little bit more. Maybe would have made the drawing a little bit more interesting. And I straightened out her feet so she's not standing, and she's more floating. It's kind of like a mermaid design that I'm playing with. This is just more of a concept sketch. So yeah, and then I'll had to fix her breast, because it seemed like one was too high. Yeah, anyway, just a doodle. I'm not really doing anything too crazy. I just figured I'll hit the record button and kind of see what happens. If it looks great, then maybe I'll post it. And if it looks like crap, then obviously I won't. And right here I was trying to decide whether I wanted to ink it or not. I was playing with some of the gradient settings and things like that, or if I wanted to add a background, and I think I just decided against it. Just because, again, it's just a concept sketch, nothing special. So no need to try to get crazy with it. And as far as the inking, I could have gone through and just re-inked the whole thing, but again, I have work to do, and this is just a warm-up sketch, something to kind of break me out of my funk so I don't screw up my other drawings. So yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on it and turn it into a whole thing. So now I increased the brush size here, and I think I brought down the density so it's more feathery. Simulates, I guess, if you ever smear your pencil sketches with a tissue or your finger, it's kind of like that, without having to actually use the blur or the smear tool, which is also an option in Manga Studio. I just don't use it that often. And here I decided to, instead of keep it like graphite, I decided to add a little bit of pink to the knees and the hands and the feet, just to make it look a little different. I think you can probably tell, I think the texture is a little high for this drawing. I should have brought that down, because you can see it when you get close, you can see it, which doesn't make for a very refined drawing if you're trying to get a lot of detail in there, which I don't really care about this one, but still, if you're going to do something a little bit more intense, you probably want to drop the texture down so you can make out some of those details. But yeah, that looks to be it. Right here, I was going to trying to do another little concept for a sea creature, and so it's like a crab type thing. Nothing too special. Wasn't really, excuse me, I wasn't really inspired, so I don't think it was coming out very well. But again, just doodling, screwing around. And that's pretty much it, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, just hit me up, or if you want a commission, go ahead and email me. Thanks again. Take it easy.